So what we're going to do real quickly, we're going to close with a lightning round because I want to keep everyone on track. So thinking about what everybody said, and it really was very interesting. And when you kind of add it all up, you know, if you think of the innovation ecosystem, because I can vouch for growers are starting to get a little fatigued by all the stuff they're being shown. But you can't help but wonder, without broadband and the ability to see things through, is that having an impact? So this issue of so this is really important in terms of innovation. And then I do want to, that same date grower who invited me said something kind of interesting. I want to pick up on your comment. When you think about health, if we're going to have a worker shortfall, and you think about the average age, and folks are retiring and there are real health issues, one of the things he said to me, he did explain to me a component of the date thinning process where automation would be great, but he basically said, we like our workers like us. I wonder if there's a way that they could work longer, an extra couple years. So might health matter? And the other thing I would point out to Terry's comment, you can have all the innovation in the world, but if nobody knows how to use it, it doesn't matter. And let me absolutely assure you, whether you're in Palo Alto, Mountain View, or the Bay Area, none of those folks are going to be operating the stuff. They will not have the iPad in the field. So it really enforces a lot of what Terry and the doctor talked about. So with that in mind, you've heard what everyone's had to say. So you're going to close with, I want to make sure I say one more thing. And relative to what each of you talked about, what's the primary adoption challenge? Terry.
Well,
for your area.
All right. I'll use my teacher voice. You know, he's got his mom voice, got my teacher voice.
Oh, that could be fun.
I think that I'd like to make a comment based on Gabe's discussion of the last mile. Okay, you got the middle mile and the last mile. I started thinking about that, and I think we can also talk about the last 100 yards. And there's a variety of technologies that can be used for that last 100 miles. So I'll use the example of the wireless telemetry that we just put in our pistachio and Dr. Ellsworth soil samples. So coming from the sensors to a radio frequency radio, that's wired. There's a wired connection there. Okay, that gets us to the edge of the field. Okay, from the edge of the field, we have then that radio frequency that's pulling the data from the field to a central node. That's actually on the campus or on our by our irrigation. That node has a cellular gateway that then uploads it into the internet, where then it's accessible by everybody else. So we're using 3 different types of technologies or communication to get it into the internet. And that's that last 100 miles there. There's other things, the Wi-Fi. There's something called LoRa, which is a low-power Wi-Fi signal that it's a wide range, but it can also handle some of that data communication. So I guess what I'd like to finish with is that there is a variety of technologies out there, communications tools out there that can be used to solve this problem. And it's not just any one cellular-based solution. There's a lot of things that can be done, and we have to work through that as a smart
You wouldn't be
solution.
happy to be contributing to the idea that that's why a pilot makes sense. It gathers, centers, and focus and prioritizes. You know, that possible discussion. Anyway, Doctor? Thanks, Gary. Your thoughts?
Well, one thing I didn't touch that I've been very much involved in as time goes along is disadvantaged communities. And they're sort of the poor stepchild of the counties. and how we address issues in these communities, and this gets back to healthcare, this gets back to issues such as jobs, job creation, and so forth, is, I think, critical for our future. Certainly, being able to get broadband into these communities is very important. We would like to encourage small businesses to grow in these communities, but if they're not connected, it's hard to get them into the communities. That together with a lot of other factors, I think, is critical for the future of this valley.
Okay, great. Thanks, Doctor. Naveen?
Thank you. So I think the primary adoptive challenge for us is again, that middle mile or last mile. The best fiber optics for us is West Hills, that's in Firebaugh, which is 7 to 8 miles away. And when you talk about the dollar amount of investing in that kind of infrastructure, it's the collective like this that makes that a priority at our legislative level to fund things like that. And I wanted to finish with the fact that, a Morse project in Mendota is based on a collective impact model. We're building infrastructure for everyone else to use, and that means you. So any ideas about how to address in rural communities a number of these health and educational issues, please come and see me, because we're there for all of us. Thanks.
And Jeff, I will note, I think everyone's encouraged when they hear somebody as bright as your daughter, obviously, is the fact she would like to come home and opportunities can be created for her to come home is a nice comment for rural communities. So with that, finish it up for us.
I don't really have a good answer here, and I think if this is the group, the creative force right now to make this happen, then it's in the hands here. And what I mean by that, I guess, I don't know how far along you are, and forgive me for being presumptuous here, but are the goals for today's meeting and everything, but our strategic planning and everything, is that underway to make this happen already? Well, that's fantastic. Well, then I think it's just creating the capacity again within this nucleus here to push forward here. That's all I have on this one.
Perfect. Linda, with that, we are under budget and on time. Would you like us to close, or would you like us to take a question from the audience? Okay.
Well done, panel one, and you are exactly on time, so that's excellent. We're going to transition now to panel number two. We're going to take about 15 minutes to do that, so please use this time to do what you need to do, network and talk, and we'll reconvene at 11:15. Thank you.